And the supreme leader of the Islamic Revolution of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, released a message on Thursday congratulating the nation on what he highlighted as a victory against the Zionist regime of Israel. In this third televised message since June 13th, when Tel Aviv launched its unprovoked aggression against Iran, Khamenei underscored the heavy blow dealt to the Israeli military by the local armed forces. The leader also paid tribute to those killed as a result of the attacks, including senior military commanders and scientists whom he described as valuable and faithful in their service. In this context, Khamenei disregarded statements by U.S. President Donald Trump on the damage inflicted by the unprompted strikes on nuclear facilities, stressing Trump exaggerated the damages to manipulate the narrative.
I want to congratulate the great Iranian nation. I would like to offer a few congratulations to the nation. First, congratulations on the victory over the fallacious Zionist regime. Despite all the noise and claims, the Zionist regime almost collapsed under the blows of the Islamic Republic.
And family genealogy initiatives help people reconnect with their roots, understand their historical heritage, and preserve cultural traditions. Let's see more details in the following report.
The House of Family Traditions Christian and the international educational project GenExpo arose from the growing need in Russian society to know one's own history. Reconstruction of the family tree is a fundamental part of preserving the collective historical memory. From a simple genealogy study, we go on to create a family legacy. I think this is fundamental for the life of a modern person, for our children, because in this unstable and constantly changing world, it is essential to have a foothold, a solid foundation, and a sense of belonging. And to understand that our ancestors are here and that we want our children to live here. And what else, if not family history or understanding all that was hidden, the fate of those people can give us this support. The history of each family reflects the most tragic and decisive moments of each era. It shows how the common people lived the great events, their family and cultural traditions. But it is also the way to maintain the dialogue between the different generations, remembering and valuing the ancestors.
Процесс изучения своей семейной истории абсолютно точно способствует.
The process of studying family history undoubtedly contributes to the development of healthy communication and connection, both within the family and in general, in the external environment, in the community, and in society. We observe how people, when they meet, study, here one studies, here another studies, they may not be related. But this vector of union can unite them so much that they simply become stronger with the principle of good neighborliness, community, unity in this interest. This is an inexhaustible source of living water and inspiration.
Объединение вот в этом интересе – это колоссальный источник живой воды и вдохновения.
The importance of these projects is related to this moment in which history has been rewritten. These initiatives, such as the organization of genealogical festivals led by the Christian House, lay the foundations for the development of national identity. By showing small details of the daily life of a particular family, many can feel the identity and contact with the common past of a whole people.
Aquí estamos en nuestro stand genealógico. Somos una compañía que hace búsquedas genealógicas.
Here we are in our genealogical stand. We are a company that does genealogical research, and here you can see different artifacts that represent the history of a family. Among different artifacts that we have here in our booth, one of the most interesting is this photograph. It is 121 years old, a military group consisting of 1,150 people, and the interesting thing is that in the photograph you can see all the details of the people. You can see the faces, their shape, more little details you can see.
Se pueden ver las caras, su forma, más pequeños detalles se puede ver.
Uno de los más destacados proyectos de la Casa Cristiana.
One of the most outstanding projects of the Christian House was the reconstruction of the genealogy of the Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin. This study confirmed that he was of peasant origin, very humble. Gagarin was a representative of the working class who had the honor of being the first man in space. And he filled an entire people and humanity with pride.
teleSUR, Moscú.
In other news, the third International Women's Meeting of the United Federation of Transportation of Latin America and the Caribbean kicked off on Wednesday in Venezuela. Our correspondent Chala Fall with the details.
El movimiento Las Manuelitas, formado por mujeres de la Federación
The Las Manuelitas movement, formed by women of the United Federation of Transportation of Latin America and the Caribbean, inaugurated its third international meeting this Wednesday in Caracas. Under the slogan of social justice and gender equity, the event invites to reflect from a feminist perspective on the current challenges of the trade union and anti-fascist struggle. This meeting is an exchange. You know that what knowledge is, we have been dominated more by ignorance really than by force. And these are the moments of awakening, symposiums that really nourish the wisdom of us as women, that invite us to be able to unite in a single feeling and to know that we are not alone.
Promover la unión entre las trabajadoras del transporte.
Promoting unity among women transport workers also means recognizing the progress made in this historically male-dominated sector. Women have been able to conquer their space and gain more visibility. In principle, now that women are driving, that they are driving buses, that they are driving ships, that they can drive subway cars. That has been the first advance, because even collectively, socially, it is something that cannot be digested very well, no. Then the trade union issue, which is an important moment among women because it is a space that used to be absolutely masculine.
Hoy las mujeres destacan no solo como conductoras.
Today, women stand out not only as drivers, but also in administrative, technical, and training areas, leading the processes of innovation and transformation of society as a whole. That is, our women arranging, knowing the structures of the different means of transportation, participating in that knowledge, and also in the construction of new proposals from that level. So it is not only because sometimes we think that they are transporters or that they are the ones who drive some of our means of transportation. No, it is much more than that. It is even technical and professional training in the sector which, as you mentioned, was historically an exclusive sector for the attention, for the training, for the participation of men, and it seemed that women could not be there.
Sorprende en el acto inaugural la
The presence of hundreds of male delegates at the opening ceremony joining this mobilization led by women is surprising. However, for them there is no contradiction in this. Because we believe that this is an integration, it is not a conflict, or should not be a conflict, between men and women. We have a common enemy, which is capitalism, which is the governments and the businessmen who benefit from it. And therefore the unity between men and women and the spaces that we should all have should be in function of the project.
Este gran encuentro tendrá una duración de 2 días.
This great meeting will last 2 days, and more than 1,000 Venezuelan and international representatives are expected to participate. In the face of the growth of fascism worldwide, women workers in Latin America are empowered and united to defend peace and social justice.
Chada Ford desde Caracas, Venezuela, para teleSUR.
And in Bolivia, the government announced that despite adverse events such as recent road blockades, the normal supply of food for the population is guaranteed. Our correspondent Freddy Morales with the details.
Las heladas o bajas de temperaturas empezaron
Frost or low temperatures began to affect some crops in 7 of the country's 9 departments.
Al total de cultivos que tenemos a nivel nacional estaría afectando solamente.
Of the total crops we have at the national level would only affect 7%. We would have more than 93% of the production that is insured in different areas of the country.
Diferentes zonas del país.
La helada se produce cuando la temperatura del aire desciende por debajo.
Frost occurs when the air temperature drops below 0 degrees and can cause the water inside plant cells to freeze and wilt.
Son 7 departamentos que han sido afectados por.
There are 7 departments that have been affected by frost.
Quiero aclarar de que en muchas zonas.
But I also want to clarify that in many areas of our country investments have been made.
Inversiones más que todo en sistemas de riego.
Especially in technified irrigation, and greenhouses and nurseries have been built.
Diferentes invernaderos, viveros.
Otro problema reciente para la provisión normal de alimentos
Another recent problem for the normal food supply was not caused by nature. It was the 14-day road blockades that led to shortages and price increases. Prices of tomatoes, onions, and others started to fall in the last week by almost 30%.
Seguimos teniendo los alimentos más bajos de toda la región.
We continue to have the lowest food prices in the entire region, the food that can be acquired even though social problems such as the blockades have had us really punished these days. Prices have increased, have risen, but we continue to have the lowest prices as Bolivians of all the countries in the region.
Como bolivianos, los precios más bajos de todos los países de la región.
Desde el gobierno se insiste en que la crisis económica que soporta el país
The government insists that the country's economic crisis has been deliberately provoked by the political opposition, which aggravated the shortage of dollars by not approving external credits, which are disbursed in that currency for almost $2 billion.
Queremos estabilidad en el tema de la importación de los diésel y eso
We want to continue asking the Assembly to listen to the people, not only to the government, but to the people. We want stability in the importation of diesel, and that is with dollars, and the dollars are sleeping in the Assembly, and they have been taking their time for 2.5 years, and even more that the credits are there that would allow us to be calm with the issue of diesel distribution. Unfortunately, we are still waiting until the last day, surely to harm the government's management.
para que perjudicar la gestión de gobierno.
La escasez de dólares derivó en escasez de combustibles y aumento general de precios.
The shortage of dollars resulted in fuel shortages and general price increases. Inflation, as of May, is close to 10%, and some product regularly disappears and rises in price. Cooking oil is now in short supply, despite the fact that private producers say that their production is normal and demand that they be authorized to export. In neighboring countries, the product costs up to 3 times more than in the domestic market.
Freddy Morales, teleSUR, Bolivia.
And the supreme leader of the Islamic Revolution of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, released a message on Thursday congratulating the nation on what he highlighted as a victory against the Zionist regime of Israel. In this third televised message since June 13th, when Tel Aviv launched its unprovoked aggression